All right, pit time. You want to horizonate this one, GCL?
I totally love. I'm huge on being a pit caddy. I totally like to caddy, just clean it up, and like I can do my part, but I definitely enjoy just like cleaning it up, caddying it out.
Did you brush it?
It's getting. I didn't. Just if you brush these, I wanted to brush for the rock.
Yeah, that brush is too.
It's pretty coarse, yeah.
Coarse, yeah. I like the coarse brush. Normally, you can really get in there and get like see structure and stuff, but it's probably too much for
this stuff. Yeah, it's pretty.
Yeah, I think color and rock content's really kind of driving this horizonation.
Oh, dude.
Right, you got the, yeah, thanks, man. 0 to 3, 3 to 23, 23 to 48, 48 to 70, 70 to 100. Smart man, he knows the only writing it on one column thing.
Well, I still add it all, but you write the...
Yeah, you just write the bottom depth, and then you fill in the other ones, yeah. Just like writing a script, does the same thing. You only need the bottom depth. Some chunky stuff, and then there's some like lahar, like fluid on top of that chunky stuff, you know? So it might be like, you could, I mean, it's probably getting ahead of ourselves, but you could almost call it a lithologic discontinuity, but you can't. I mean, just if we were playing around with the concept of andesol and like strata, you know.
And does a lithic lithologic discontinuity count if it's the same stuff? Because you don't call it in an alluvial environment, right? When there's different units, you only call it when it's like residual.
Yeah, but
with
could you
alluvium
argue
over the
that
top.
this rounded fucking pellets is a different event than this coarse these coarse
I guess,
fragments?
yeah.
You know,
I mean,
because you describe a ton of lithologic discontinuities in andesols, right? Or buried horizons and.
Yeah.
Anyways.
I don't know. I'll say that's a great idea, and you should put it on the sheet. Like, you know, I mean, it's always like one pit we pulled up in this spot. You know, I'm like totally supporting what you're saying.
I'm just playing around with the ideas,
I
anyways.
think it's great.
You know.
Like I said, I'm totally supporting what you're saying.
Fuck.
Like,
Okay,
yeah,
good.
Sounds great.
It's a nice pen.
So
what are we talking about
I
again?
defer to smarter people.
Well, the good thing we brought Irf along then.
That's why we bring him along.
Just there was this sort of cobbly, like gravelly, like rounded gravel lens.
Underneath those angular rocks.
Yeah.
Those, you know. No, I see it. It's like, and it's one of those things where like, why? But you know, even looking at everything in the road cut, it's all rounded, dude, for the most part. I mean, there's some angular stuff, but even the stone, like the larger cobbles and stones, are all rounded. Like everything in this, when you walk and look in this cut, it's all pretty rounded. You know, just I mean, that's supporting what you're saying, but just like, why is it so rounded? It's not water. It's not that it like there was a creek here. Like the most obvious
Right.
answer.
So it's like bomb.
Spheroidal. It's spheroidal.
Spheroid, yeah.
Yeah, it's a spheroidal weathering, right? That might be what, you know, because that should happen.
What the fuck's happened with this thing? This thing's not doing anything spheroidal.
It's still kind of rounded. It's not rounded, but it's not angular. It's still got rounded edges and stuff.
Yeah, I think they're two different materials.
You're teaching the class.
No, I mean I think they're the same stuff. You know,
no, they're not.
Like
It's not serpentine over basalt.
Like
No,
back
from Restaurant Supply.
Oh.
I got a bunch of those. Are great for chopping, you know, stuff out. Yeah, no, I was totally. My goal was to go back to Humboldt State. I had so much fun. I wanted to go back there so bad. I just felt like I fit in there. It was, you know, worked good for me. But like by the time I got back, it was like I just needed to go back to school. And it was so cheap to live in cheap at that point. I mean, literally, we got the local deal. I rented a tent. 10-acre walnut orchard that I didn't run, with a 3-bedroom double wide and multiple barns and outbuildings that was like a 10-minute bike ride from there to campus in the orchards. And our rent for the entire place was $450 a month. For the whole place, not my share. So my rent was like $150 a month to rent a place on an orchard that had garages, and we had gas scooter that we'd ride around the orchard shit. I mean, so I wasn't I wasn't getting that deal at Humboldt for sure.
Yeah. Hey. Oh yeah, I'm thinking I'm gonna describe 2 O's just for fun.
This one, dude, I think that's easy. You got the little dark dank one, and then the semi broken down stuff on top.
Yeah, so just for fun, Irv, just.
I'm gonna split this one.
Yeah.
Where's your pen? My pencil? I got it. Never mind.
What did I
0 to 3.
That's way too short, dude. This is way thicker than that. It's actually 0 to 7, but that fucks everything up. But you know what? We're here. So change it to 0 to 7, and we'll just add 7. We'll add 4 inches or 4 centimeters to everything else. Or no, just change the next one. Just go 0 to 7 and 7 to 22 or whatever it was.
Yep, because that horizon shouldn't change.
Yeah.
But you're gonna call it 2 O's.
Yeah, I'm gonna call it 2 O's. So let's go.
You're gonna call it 0 to 7.
I'm gonna go 0 to 3.
Okay.
0 to 4, 4 to 9. 4 to 7, sorry. 0 to 4, 4 to 7. Apologies. A horizon, but almost O. You probably could have broken this O out twice, but I'm gonna call. What do you call this stuff, dude?
It's all. Yeah, I mean that's a toughie, dude. This is all. I mean, it's still greater than 80% probably by mass, because isn't that like the break for like histic? And this obviously is. I mean, that's probably like by mass. That's probably like 10% carbon. That's pretty high organic matter stuff. It's super light.
But if once you break it in your hand, it's mostly mineral.
Yeah, it's all roots and held together by. And it's like fine sand. It's all like weathered, like super fine.
So do you want to call that? But there's structural units almost,
Well, I mean, it's held together, but is it now? That's like I said. Is it what's the difference between a PED and something that's coherent? Right? Yeah, it's held together, but is it breaking out as structural units? They're repetitive, right? Remember, like subangular blocky means. I always tell students. If you get a big subangular blocky aggregate and you break it in half, the 2 halves look like the original, the same shape basically as the starter.
Yeah.
You break it and it's angular and it doesn't look.
But that's like that, like minerals, like looking at like minerals. Oh, they break into like the same,
right.
shape or whatever.
Shear plane and all that
Yeah,
kind
yeah.
of stuff. Totally.
But
I would just at this point I would just go with it, call it O, and then your A, just stick with your granular or single grain. I mean, it's like that's almost single grain. It's not granular structure, right? The second that you push on it, it's powder, and it's almost more held together with roots and that than it is secondary aggregation.
There's aggregates in here,
Okay,
dude.
let me call it, dude.
No.
All for it. I mean, weak, fine subangular blocky.
Yeah, let's do it. I'm gonna call it just in the surface.
Yeah.
Weak, fine subangular blocky, and the rest is single grained.
Yeah, that's totally fair. Man, I want to go home.
Well, I'm not gonna lie. I'm kind of glad you said that, because I always carried that around and never really talked about it.
Cool.
So, Jared, are there some